Hi TarotTube, this is my first video reply or VR, and I wanted to hop on the new hashtag from Kelly Bear over in the UK. This is the 54321 Tarot Challenge, and I will link to that in the description. Basically, we've been tasked to run through 5 different categories of tarot things. So five tarot decks, 4 books, 3 spreads, 2 habits, rituals, or items of tarot paraphernalia we can't live without, and 1 piece of advice or tarot card that most resonates with us at the moment or that we most aspire to be like. So I thought I will just dive right in. I have recorded this twice and managed to mess up the recording or my sound. So here's to third time being a charm. The very first deck I wanted to show you is, I'm currently working with, is the Spirit Keepers Tarot Revelation Edition. Now we know I shouldn't try and read things on the screen. Spirit Keepers Tarot, SKT, Revelation Edition, 2nd printing by Benabel Wen. And this is a deck that I was a bit intimidated by before I decided to purchase it. I have seen many people within the tarot groups I'm in on Facebook sing this deck's praises, and I just never thought I was spiritual enough to really work with it. But the more I read about it and the more I realized how accessible Benabel has tried to make this deck for people, especially this edition of the Spirit Keepers Tarot, the more I realized I was ready to work with it. So this is a very cool deck. Benabel has basically taken, I think, the best of both worlds. So she has managed to sort of create an overarching system between that straddles or incorporates the Rider-Waite-Smith and the Thoth deck into something completely different in many ways and very familiar in other ways. So basically every card is to be considered its own entity or its own spirit, hence the name, Spirit Keepers Tarot. And it has really helped me plug back into my own spirituality and rekindle that connection with whatever it is that's out there that I don't know what to call at present, whether that is my higher guardian angel or God or the universe or the creator or the source. The underlying energy I like to think of that connects us all and that we're all made of or not made of. Like, do we actually exist? I'm not sure. That's a discussion for another video. But yeah, this deck is so beautiful. There's so much intention packed into every card. To show you a few. So much gorgeous artwork, and the amount of detail in every card is just next level. There we go. I really have enjoyed taking my time with this deck. I've only had it since the beginning of August, and it's now middle of September. I am working my way through a workbook of hers called The 22 Weeks with the SKT, which I'm going to be honest, it's quite full on for me, but I'm taking it at my own pace, so it might end up being more like 44 weeks with the SKT by the time I'm done, and I'm okay with that. Because I'm just really enjoying the experience and the journey of getting to know this deck. It's so deep and so multi-layered, and there's just so much knowledge packed into everything. And Benabel really gives you so much meaning and so much information to work with that it's something I will be learning from probably for the rest of my life, I think. So I'm so happy I got it. The second deck I wanted to show you is a little bit on the lighter side, I think, compared to the SKT. And this is the little Rainstar tarot by Carol Herzer. I'm sorry if I'm not saying your name right, Carol. I apologize. This is the second Illuminated tarot deck that I have by Carol. And this is the first miniature size that I have. And I absolutely adore this deck. This deck feels like an old friend. It feels like coming home to me. As soon as I picked it up, I knew that I was never going to give this deck up. It's the perfect size for my hands. I don't have huge hands. Let me get another card just to show you real quick. So, for instance, this is it next to a Spirit Keeper's Tarot card. So not huge at all, but not as tiny as other pocket-sized decks that are out there, which I find sort of too small sometimes and hard to shuffle. So this deck is just so much fun and bubbly personality. It's like, it reminds me of Punky Brewster, although I haven't seen that show in a very long time. But I used to have the Punky Brewster shoes when I was little, and I just remember they were different colors all over the place. So I'll just show you some of my favorite cards from this deck. So it's super glossy, but there's also a layer of colored glitter that she has hand applied. I mean, I don't know if you will ever find a more beautiful tower card than this. Oh, I just wish my camera would allow me to actually pick it up better. It's so glossy. It's like an industrial strength laminate almost. This is the star card. So pretty. I just love it. It also came with an alternate Hierophant, which has all the chakras or energy centers running down his robe, which is really cool. And she also does these amazing paintings of the chakras as well. Chakras, sorry. It's a hard CH on that. But very, very detailed. And these also are all glitter. I love it. It's just a really fun deck. Very sassy to me. And it's just a joy to read with. So I do my daily draws with this. The third deck is not a tarot deck, but Kelly Bear fully expected some of us to break the rules and sneak in some oracle decks. I'm happy to be that person. Sorry, I forgot I had my mic there. This is a modified version of the Bitchslaps from the Universe Oracle deck by Christine. Hold on, I have to find one. Catherine Graham. Is that right? Yeah, Catherine Graham. And this is a deck I bought secondhand from someone who had already modified it. So I think the cards are quite big and rectangular, but they've cut it down. It is such a good sassy deck for when you just really need some real talk from your tarot decks without too much thinking involved. If you just want a quick bit of advice on things and you don't want to spend, if you don't want to spend 15, 20 minutes analyzing a reading. I'm not saying you have to do that with tarot, but sometimes you just don't have the energy. This is just really a good fun deck. It's great for parties. All of my regulars on TikTok ask for readings with this deck. I call it one of my sassy oracle decks. And I always ask people if they're sitting down beforehand. So, yeah, I'll give you an example of one of the cards. When light workers unite and see through the eyes of love and compassion, the world will shift in big fucking ways. It's time to stop playing so fucking small. It's just really gorgeous cards as well. They all have different different watercolor on them. What if your whole damn purpose is to love the fuck out of you? Stop chasing rainbows and love where you are right now in this moment. I just love stuff like that. So it's sort of a good partner to The Universe Has Your Back, which is very wholesome and very loving and very gentle and comforting. This one has a bit more sass. It's like talking to your best friend who loves you very much and isn't going to put up with your shit either, or your excuses, right? So that is one of my favorite go-to decks. And I'm going to share 2 decks that I look forward to really diving more into shortly. So the first one is the Mushroom Spirit Oracle that my bestie Kate got me on a trip back to New York. It's really, really beautiful artwork. And Kate knows me very well. I love foraging for mushrooms. I love eating mushrooms. I'm a mushroom girl. I'll just pick out some cards to show you. This one is really pretty. So there's a morel mushroom and a shiitake mushroom. Very pretty. Love the artwork on this turkey tail. Always fun to find in real life. Lion's mane. Everybody knows the cordyceps from The Last of Us. If you didn't watch that show, where have you been? Yeah, a gorgeous deck. I probably will be doing a walkthrough of that soon. Maybe as my first deck walkthrough. And then another deck I want to get into shortly is the Golden Eclipse Tarot. It's quite reflective, as you can see. This is a circular deck, so I'll be extra gentle with it. But the artwork is all in gold foil against a sort of soft black matte, which is really, really pretty. And I really can't wait to start using it. So this is a deck that really ties in astrology into the tarot correspondences, and that is an area that I've been looking forward to jumping into. So that's the Emperor there, and let me see, that one's really pretty. So that one looks like Strength. Oh wow, yeah, look at that lion. Gorgeous, love it. Can't wait to use it. I hope I don't mess it up. It's one of those decks where I almost have the urge to be really rough with it, because I'm trying to get past that stage in my life where I don't want to mess things up because they're perfect and I don't want to mess it up, you know? Like, I'm just trying to deal with imperfection and realize that nothing is actually perfect. Anywho, 4 tarot books that I want to recommend. The first one is actually on my Kindle, and that is The Living Tarot by T. Susan Chang. I've really been enjoying this book. It's written in such a way that it will appeal to experienced readers and beginner readers alike. It has certainly deepened my daily tarot practice, and I'm only on chapter 2. I'm taking this very slow as well. I used to be someone who really speed read and was very fast to devour knowledge and information quite quickly. But after having my daughter 9 years ago and having a really bumpy ride with that, I had a complete block on like reading for recreation, and yeah, it's just been a really interesting ride for me to get back into reading, and I really love T. Susan's style of writing. I find it really enjoyable, very approachable, and just really warm. I can't think of a better word to describe it. It's been a long day, so T. Susan Chang, if you ever see this, I'm sorry that I have run out of words today, but I love your book, and I look forward to taking your class one day. The second book is a classic. That is Rachel Pollack's 78 Degrees of Wisdom, A Tarot Journey to Self-Awareness. I still reach for this on a daily basis. It's a great reference point, and it's a great a starting point for new readers. Tarot for Yourself by Mary K. Greer. This is the first tarot book I ever purchased way back in the 90s, and one of the only books I brought with me to New Zealand when I moved here with 2 suitcases. And sadly, I gave it away because I didn't think I would ever really fully understand tarot. So it was a bit intimidating at first, and I think maybe I was just too young to really fully grasp all of the lessons, and I didn't have enough life experience, I don't think, to really connect with many of the tarot cards at that stage. I was 22, I think. Yeah, and I recently bought it again for myself two years ago. I still haven't finished it, but it is something that I am working through. As you can see, I like to juggle many things at once. And then the fourth book is this Chunky Monkey, The Holistic Tarot. This is a gorgeous book by Benabel Wen. It is more of a cyclopedia, and then there's a huge reference section on devising tarot spreads, fundamentals of spreads, what else? Reading Tarot for Yourself, the Marseille, opening of the key. There's just so much stuff in here. I have not had a chance to actually dive into this, although I don't know that I would dive into this and read it from cover to cover. I think this, to me, has become a good reference point day to day. So I've enjoyed kind of learning what it says that way, but I will be diving into the back of it really soon. Maybe when I finish my SKT. There's so much goodness. I don't know where to start some days. Maybe I should make myself a study plan. That might be a good idea. Make myself a study plan and sit down and really work through things. But yeah, sometimes I feel like I'm cheating on my SKT when I read with my RWS at the moment. Anyway, yeah, maybe it's an autistic thing where I feel like I'm cheating on my tarot cards. Who knows? Right. My 3 tarot spreads. My screensaver just went on, so we'll see if that has a weird blip in the middle of this video. 3 tarot spreads I wanted to tell you about are really simple, actually. I feel like I'm waffling on at this point, so I apologize. I'll pick up the pace. The first tarot spread is from the SKT, from Benabel's 22 Weeks with the SKT, and it is a 3-card draw, weekly forecast, a 3-card spread. So the first card is the spirit that's going to be the most present with you that week. The second card is gosh darn it, I had this written down. The second card is, hold the line, what is the highest priority for the week coming up, and the third card is what I should be mindful of or prepare for. So every time I've done that, it has been so accurate, and it's been a gorgeous way to really start working with the Spirit Keepers Tarot. For instance, this week, the thing I should prepare for or be most mindful of, the card that came up in that position was the Ace of Swords. And that is actually aligns with the September equinox, which is on Thursday, I think, or Friday this week. So very apt, and kind of gave me goosebumps when that popped out. Very cool spread. And it is, just a different take on a 3-card spread, really. The next spread I really enjoy is a 2-card daily draw. So that's what I do every morning. using my Carol Herzer deck, and that is something that T. Susan Chang recommends in her book, The Living Tarot. And she, suggests you can really assign any meaning you want to the 2 card positions. But her first recommendation when you're starting out is to have card 1 as something to look for and something to try for card 2. So I thought that was a really cool way of looking at it, because the Living Tarot book is all about creating your own language with your tarot deck. And by pulling 2 cards a day instead of 1, you're going to learn all of the cards much faster. But also, it doesn't have to be that deep. And I love that she, is so upfront with that. Not everything is esoteric. Some things are just a reflection of what's right in front of you. So I think one of the examples she gives is, say, the 3 of Pentacles. You could be walking by an office at work and see 3 people, talking about a contract or doing a whiteboard session, and it will remind you of the 3 of Pentacles, and that could be what to look for that day. So I thought that was really cool. Also, I think she's the first person I've seen. I'm sure plenty of other authors do it, so please don't think that it's the only author who's ever done it. But she's the first one that I've read who's referenced that your daily card draw could actually, be a reflection of the media that you consume, like podcasts you listen to, Netflix shows you're watching. Because I had a very, not worrisome, but it was the first time for me that 2 cards that I've never had come up in any of my readings or daily draws before came up together. And they can be sort of like big deal cards in a deck, and that was the Tower and the Tower and another card that I was just like, oh, this is going to be an interesting day. But I had just pulled them after watching one of the best horror movies that I've seen in a long time, and I reckon that was where my mind frame was at. I wish I could find it. Oh, it was the Tower and the 5 of Pentacles last month. It was quite an interesting day. What did I write after that? What did I watch? I didn't say, oh, it was Insidious Red Door, so it would have been Insidious 2. That was a pretty Tower and 5 of Pentacles sort of movie, if you ask me. It was a very interesting movie. But obviously very shocking. There was a big revelation and a big reveal in the movie, and then all of the characters needed help in one way or another, and I see 5 of Pentacles as sort of a place where people need help and maybe they are too proud to ask for it at first, or don't realize that they can ask for it. So yeah, it was a pretty cool way of interpreting those cards and realizing that not everything applies to you personally. Sometimes it's just what you're witnessing in your day. And then the third spread is a 2-card daily tarot spell, which also comes from T. Susan Chang, and I'm not sure if she's written about it in any of her other books because obviously I haven't read them yet. Sorry. I want to soon. Books are very expensive in New Zealand. But that one, 2-card daily tarot spell is, I guess, similar in that you pull 2 cards, but instead of assigning a different meaning to each card in the spread, you draw inspiration from those cards for a daily intention that you're setting for yourself, in order to almost mitigate the risks that might come up out of those cards. So I guess in a way it could be looking at it as a daily forecast and you inviting fate in to give you a glimpse of what your day may hold. And also in the same breath, pre-planning how you might best deal with the energy of those cards should they appear. So very, very cool concept. And the earliest reference I could find just from a Google was in, I think, a 2018 article she wrote for Llewellyn. I'll link to it in the description of this video. But I'm in a Facebook group of hers that is, I think, was created for her podcast Fortune's Wheelhouse Academy, or Fortune's Wheelhouse. And most of the people in that group post their 2-card daily tarot spells. So I highly recommend joining that group just to see, what kind of verses and spells and intentions other people set. Because it is a really cool way of seeing what other people get out of the cards. And, I think when you see what other people think about things, it also gives you a better reference point about what you would take away from the same thing and how your ideas would differ from somebody else's. And it's almost a way of redefining your own thoughts about something. If you look at something else and go, I agree with that, or I don't think I would get the same thing out of those cards. But it's such a cool exercise. I really love it. I've only done 2 of them myself. I look forward to doing more. I should probably also include that in my own personal study plan. The next category is 2 habits or tarot paraphernalia that I can't live without. And the first one is definitely using a tarot cloth. And I know that Robin over at Toadstool Tarot mentioned that he uses a tarot cloth. I don't really go anywhere because COVID is still very much alive and well, and I'm protecting my family from getting COVID by staying home. But this is my favorite cloth, and I have had this since I was 16 or 17 when I went to Woodstock 99. I must have been 17. It's a tie-dyed piece of cloth. I don't know even what the fabric is, but it's so pretty. I just love purples. And yeah, I think I'll probably use this as my tarot cloth forever. It's so practical. It's easy to grab the cards off of, and it's a good way to protect your cards from anything on tables. And it just kind of sets the scene for a good reading for me anyway. And the second thing is my tarot journal, which I've already flipped through in front of you. So currently I'm using pen and paper. I like it. It helps me organize, helps me reflect, and I am looking to move to digital soon, so I'm looking at using a program called Obsidian. If any of you out there use it for anything, let me know. But it seems to be a really cool way to cross-reference meanings and things. So you can have interlinking entries. So I could make a big kind of dot map of all of the ways different cards have come up in pairs and referenced each other in my daily readings eventually. That's what I hope to do. So we'll see if I follow through on that one. And then lastly is just one piece of advice that I would give someone about tarot. And I think because I still very much feel like not a novice, but a student. I don't like giving advice on things that I don't feel like I'm knowledgeable enough to give advice on. But I guess I am in many ways. I just need to realize that. But I think the best piece of advice I could give to someone is there are only so many lessons you can learn from books in this area, because it is actually a practice. So when people say my tarot practice or I'm a tarot practitioner, it is something that you have to put into use in order to really fully understand it and make it yours. And everybody has their own experience in life and their own lens that they see things through because of those experiences. So I think everybody's way of reading tarot is going to have their own flavor into it. And I think that's a good thing, because if we all looked at the tarot cards in exactly the same way and said the exact same things about them, I think it would be really boring. I mean, obviously there's other areas of life where that is totally what you want. but I think the cool thing about tarot is anybody can use it, and everyone has something to offer and something to teach and something to learn, no matter who you talk to with tarot. So no matter whether you're really new to it or you've been reading it for 30 years and practicing it for 30 years, I think everybody has something to offer the conversation. And so just get out there and do it. Don't be afraid to dive into communities. Don't be afraid to do tarot card reading swaps. Don't be afraid to offer free readings when you want more experience and you're looking to just get more comfortable with giving readings in general. And don't be afraid just to jump in, because that's how you learn best. So yeah, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for reading everything, and apologies if I have waffled on quite a lot. It has been a very long day, and like I said, I've already tried to record this a few times. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Thank you to Kelly Bear for creating this hashtag. Thank you to Simon at the Hermit's Cave for jumping in, because I think I saw Simon's video first and then went and watched Kelly Bear's. Enjoyed them both immensely. But yeah, thank you all for just being you. Please be kind to yourself and to others, and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Thanks.